Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to RobMotive. Today, we're going to be finishing up a wheel project, and I'm going to reveal the new wheels and tires on the Toyota Tacoma. Before I get into that, let's go ahead and I'll show you what I'm doing here. I wanted to customize the center cap, so I had them leave them off, and then I removed the chrome letters that were originally on the inside. I painted them, and now it's time to put them back together. To do that, I'm going to attempt to plasti weld it myself, my own version. You put those letters there back in through the slots, of course, over these little pins that are in here. And then I'm going to try to melt the plastic around them just like it was when I got it. Now, I may add some of my own plastic. I have a zip tie here, which I've seen people do before, kind of using that to melt over the surface to hold these in. Now, I could glue them, but then I have to wait for the glue to dry, and I do think this is a stronger process anyway. So I'm going to show you one real quick, then I'll finish the rest. Then we're going to get them on the truck, and I'll show you what the new setup is on the lime green Toyota Tacoma. Okay, here we go. First thing is to put the letters back inside the cap, and this is the tricky part because they're probably not fully cured yet, so I really shouldn't even be doing it probably, but you know, I'm kind of impatient and I'm hoping they just kind of drop right in there. And I've made them a little bit bigger in my endeavor, but that's what it's going to look like. I think that's pretty cool. It actually came out really well, and it did almost drop right back in. I do have to push it a little bit. That's it, just the one I had to push, and it didn't seem to damage anything. All you can see is the surface of the letter, so I think I'm okay. Now I'm going to try to melt the plastic insert just a little bit with a soldering iron to secure this part in, and then after that there is one more part that kind of sandwiches that in between, goes over the letters themselves, this part, and I'm going to do the same thing. So, wish me luck. Here we go. 685 degrees, supposedly. That's pretty much it. So next up, we put this other piece on. You get the general idea. So let me finish this one up, and I'll do all the rest, and then I'll show you when I'm done. Okay, we've got them all done, all back together. It went pretty smoothly. This is what it looks like now. And I'll show you the back. There's my little plasti weld attempt. I found that just sticking the point of the soldering iron down in the little stud that was sticking up and melting it outwards is all I really needed to do. So they're ready to go. No waiting for glue to dry or any of that kind of stuff. Now, before we put them on and I let you see the final product, let's talk about what wheels and tires I got. I went with Black Rhino, obviously, Stadiums. This is what they look like. I really like the look of them, and I had the same wheel except in chrome on the other truck, and I made the Black Rhino letters black for that. This one, I kind of went back and forth going with chrome. I thought, well, maybe I could go with, not chrome, I should say bronze. What am I saying? Still has the soapy stuff or whatever from when they put the tires on. Obviously, it needs to be washed. But it looks pretty good, I think. As far as the offset, they are a -10, and they are 16s. -10 gives me a little bit of poke outside of the fender well. It's not much, it's just a little bit. Depends on the angle of how you look at it. But it looks pretty good to me. It gives me that nice, tough, beefy look that I was wanting. So -10 is good. Obviously, if I'd gone more, they come further out. Now, the tires themselves, they are a Falcon Wild Peak AT3W. I've gone with these before. I love the Falcon Wild Peaks. I think they look aggressive and they give you the best ride. I've had the KO2s, everybody's favorite it seems, but the Falcon Wild Peaks, they are the bomb. Now, they're a 265/70 R16. Now, what I did when I went to Discount Tire, they actually brought in two different size tires. They brought in these and then the 265/75s. I wanted to go with the 75s. It would have given me a 1/2 inch lift, if you will, or a 1/2 inch taller tire. But when I had them put on with this offset, they were only about a finger's width away from this whole area right here. And obviously much closer in the back when I had the mud flaps on. So there's no way that you can run a 265/75 R16 with a 10mm offset, and that's really the key, the offset. Depends on how far out you bring the tire, but with that negative offset, they would not never rub. 1/2 inch is not enough. You need at least about 1 inch or so clearance for them not to rub. These, I did have to take off the mud flaps on the back. They were closer than a 1/2 inch at turning or full turn on the tire. So I took them off. I did leave the ones on the back, but there's no way you can run mud flaps on here either, even with a stock size. This is what they came with as far as the size goes, 265/70 R16s. But there's no way you can bring the tire out, which is what I wanted to do, or bring the wheel out, and still run those mud flaps on the back. It's just not going to work. I don't care what anybody says. I've been there, I've done it, it won't work. I've got them all on. I think it looks pretty darn sharp. It's not an exact match to the paint on the truck, and I wasn't looking for an exact match. It's, matter of fact, kind of coincidence that it's as close as it is. But let's take a look. There they are on the truck itself. Just something, a little bit of pop in the truck. Obviously, I replaced the chrome. Not a big chrome fan, but that's what it looks like on the truck. I think it looks pretty darn cool. Just something a little different. It's all about the accents, right? I like it. I think it came out really, really well. We'll see over time, of course, how that paint holds up. You never know. Anyway, leave a comment. Let me know what you think of my choice. I'd be curious to know. Also, real quick, I do have 2 additional channels. Mod Driven, all about the Honda Civic, and RobMotive JT, all about the Jeep Gladiator. Check them out, and if you're interested, why not subscribe? And while you're at it, smash the subscribe button here too. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.